Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Luna and I are doing okay. Hurt my back on Monday and it's a little stiff, but she's doing well. And she lost her ball, it looks like. She snatched it back up. Anyways, we had a good walk and kind of a cold day. Just now hitting 50. So we're out there walking around. It was 46 degrees when I started. So it's cool. Now, on the plus side, no no wind, which is a negative when it's hot out, but when it's cold out, not having a big wind gust sure does help you keep your heat wrapped around you. So, all right. Anyway, let me have some coffee here. I hope you have something to get your morning started. Maybe it's a nice walk with your puppy dog or a little sunlight, but whatever it is, here's to you. Oh, all right. Snatched it right out of there. Uh, Hey, I'm kind of stuck on AI, but AI is an interesting topic because it's how we think too, because one of the things they're trying to learn with AI is how to replicate how we develop cognition. And I wanted to talk a little bit. I talked a little bit about how the AI, when I was using it, gave me broad answers. I was over here and it was giving me more of the main answers, even though I wasn't actually asking for things that would really give me main answers. So I was having a little trouble moving from here over to here, and was an interesting problem that they're going to have to deal with. And I talked with a friend of mine. He also is using Microsoft's Bing AI as well. And he said he saw the same thing. It wasn't just me. He says he's seeing a lot of answers that seem to be more mainstream than what he was trying to hone in on. So, which made me want think about. Um, there's a couple of really good books by Nicholas Taleb about uh, how we do analysis. And he is famous for what he calls, or it's not what he calls, but he pointing out what is called a fat tail. And in it, he notes that a lot of times, depending on how much your society has developed or how much money and influence you have, and I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about like group, a large company, and stuff like that, you're able to accommodate people that are on the edge to a much higher degree. We're actually seeing some blowback from that in a lot of our social media and uh, entertainment industry and stuff like that, where people are upset with the fact that you don't have stuff that supports a wider variety, the diversity and the inclusion, to the point where sometimes it doesn't make sense, and that's where the blowback is coming. So AI is interesting insofar as it has to develop that diversity inclusion, but it can't do it and become useless. So it's interesting because so I'll give you uh, Nicholas had a great example of how uh, edge cases get included. He said you might be at a company and they said, well, we're going to have to, as a nice thing for our employees, we're going to have a little spring picnic. Invite all the employees out. We'll provide the food and some drinks for everybody, and everybody can hang out and we can all just have a little picnic together. So he said 98% of their workforce, well, they're fine with the picnic. All the common foods like maybe barbecue and sliced turkey and stuff like that. But there's 2% of them. We don't like to eat meat. We are vegan. Oh, okay. Well, then you contact the people that do the uh, catering and say, we not like a vegetarian option. So can 5% of the food be vegetarian? And they go, well, oh yeah, we can do that. It'll cost you this much more because we'll just have to, it's additional. Well, that additional fee to make that 2% more included in the fee in the group is not a big deal if you're making good money. If the company has the income and is doing well. If it was hard times, you might not do that. And so that marginalized group doesn't get the little extra treatment or the special treatment because of scarcity or scarcity, financial scarcity. So it, when we were, when I was young, and when my parents were young. They were young during the Depression, which I have talked about in the past. They lived through scarcity. I mean, harsh scarcity. So that develops your brain a little bit in being aware of the problems of that scarcity can create. And so we do tend to hone in on things that were be more uh, robust in a large, you know, main group. And the selective, but so the AI comes into this and it does it. I don't want to say it doesn't understand scarcity because it's educated by learning from us, but it also wants to be right more than it's wrong. So for it, scarcity is not so much things like financial scarcity or running out of food. For it, scarcity is more about getting things right. So you'd have somebody come in there to talk to the AI. Whoa, I hit the oh, whoopsie. Sorry about that. Ugh. Oh, I get one pole, then I hit the roof. Lou's over here like, all right, Dad, you're not doing well this morning. Here's another try. She never gives up on me. All right, so the reward factor for it has to do with did I make somebody happy? So you get somebody in there who's asking questions, and they're on the margins. They're off to the side. When they if they ask a question and it's not in the mainstream, it's not going to be in that margin that's going to be right for them. But AI is trying to get that mainstream thumbs up, you did right feedback. It's not worried about the edge cases because if it goes to the edge cases, likelihood of getting that thumbs up is much smaller. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in the edge case and you specifically let the AI know I'm over here, the AI will focus down there. But you need, if you're in the edge case, to tell it I'm over here. Because if you don't, it's going to stay out in the broad section. And I we have been trained a lot. Well, I should say people that are in the service industry have been trained to feel out those edge areas and to develop around them. And here's the reason why, and this is going to sound bad, but it's kind of true. A lot of times in those edge cases, because they get excluded so much more than the mainstream people, they're a little more sensitive to about being sidelined or not getting. I, I don't want to. It's they don't get enough of what they should when they get their services. So a lot of times the service industry are pretty good about feeling out. Oh, okay, I that person's not going to be satisfied with our what everybody else is having. I can tell this is they need this a little different, and the AI is going to have a tough time doing that. Service industry people are trained because of that abundance that they have to give a little more on those edges, and that's what Nicholas Taleb's books, um, Skin in the Game, and oh shoot, I need to go look him up. Anyways, Nicholas says that's his point about you spend more for that smaller percentage to get that vegan option because you have the abundance. AIs are not worried about that abundance and spending more. They don't want to spend more because they'll get less people saying you did right. They're wanting more confirmation. Oh goodness. She put it under the table. Yeah, it's dead center. She can't get it. I have to get it. Oh, oh okay. Uh, so the AI people will have to deal with that. That's an interesting problem because our society does not reward us on being right. Our society rewards us on people's happiness and the social bonding that is created. We're past survival on most uh, areas of industry and stuff like that. So um, uh, I can't remember the book it was I read, or they said you can break things down usually by survival, social, or entertainment are the three criterias. That's not the same for an AI. An AI never has to worry about uh, survival, uh, and it never has to worry about entertainment. It's kind of locked into social, and it wants to make the majority happy. So that's it. The more and more I think about it, the more that's kind of an interesting case. I'd talk about that some more because that could AI could really flip a lot of the stuff that we're doing right now, and might be a fascinating change as we integrate it more and more into our decision making and our analysis. Uh, and remember, I said there's two layers. There's the guardian layer, the software that's written by humans to guard the results, both incoming and outgoing, and it could take more care with the other's edges, while the core doesn't, which is interesting. So but you may start breaking how well the tool works because your guardian layers got more and more rules behind it. So just a fascinating way of looking at how the reward factor of the AI versus us humans and how we do things. And maybe I'll talk about that next time. A little bit about the reward, a little more. Let's delve a little more into the reward factor. But that's good enough for now. Luna has allowed herself to enjoy her time with me, had me throwing balls, and she's been really sweet. So I'm gonna take her inside and we'll relax a little bit. All right. Oh, stiff back. All right. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.